Is this thing working? Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday edition. Hey, Denise, how's it going?
It's going awesome. I am so glad to be here today. It is a busy news day today, so we're going to have to get right into it to get it all covered. So here you go.
Yep. But before we get moving, let's make sure we announce our sponsor for the day. We're proud to have Pure Hemp Botanicals as our sponsor. And if you've never checked into Pure Hemp Botanicals, please do so. I tell you what, you need to discover the power of nature with Pure Hemp Botanicals. Their CBD products are crafted with care and precision, harnessing the healing properties of hemp to promote wellness and balance in your life. From soothing tinctures to decadent skincare, they offer a diverse range of premium CBD solutions. So experience the difference with Pure Hemp Botanicals and embark on your journey to a holistic well-being today. There you go.
There you go. And make sure you click the link below. Thank you. Our sponsors make it possible for us to keep the show free for you to watch anytime. Please do try out Pure Hemp Botanicals. It's so stressful out there right now. We all need a little relaxation, don't you think?
I agree. I agree.
Before we start the show today, we want to state these opinions are our assertions and ours alone. If you agree with us, tell your friends and share the show. Also, stomp that like button and please follow or subscribe. Wherever you see the name, Is This Thing Working? Also, you can get to every show and podcast on our website. You can click on the link below as well. So check us out. Thank you for helping James and I grow every single day. And yesterday, we blew out our numbers all together on a daily basis. We were so excited. We watched it happen all day long. And we're just excited to be here with you today.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
We love you and thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy today. So let's get moving.
Here we go. Trump Watch. You know, every single day we do a Trump Watch. Trump is back in what I call Blackmail court today. To start off with, it is just crazy to me that this judge and the DA won't give the name of the witnesses for the next day. All day yesterday, I was listening to all the mainstream media, and all they talked about was secret witnesses. And
they already knew. Do you think?
Yes, they know.
Yeah.
They know every bit of it. But, he goes into court blind every single day.
Right.
It's like they're flinging missiles at him. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he just has to sit and take this crap. And we have to sit back and watch Trump being railroaded in a city that has taken away his business, has messed with his family, and now they're trying to put him in jail and ruin his reputation. When will this stop, do you think?
Who knows? Who knows? I hope it stops very soon, but I don't know. And the whole thing with this is, with them holding back, which we now understand is Stormy Daniels, from them holding back all of this, a lot of questions were raised. Well, is that even legal? I thought they were supposed to bring out everything in discovery. We kind of watched all this play out yesterday, and hey, there's a surprise witness coming up. The defense has no time for it. Well, I looked this up, and this is what it says. It asks the question, can prosecutors spring evidence on a defendant like they do on TV, like they would on Perry Mason or any of the other old, lawyer shows? Well, this is what we found out from NOLO.com, the legal encyclopedia. This is what it says. Can prosecutors spring evidence on defendants like they do on TV? No. In the past, prosecutors could guard evidence from defendants with the same fervor that a toddler would show in protecting a toy truck or dolls from their brothers and sisters. Defendants couldn't force a prosecutor to hand over witness statements or even reveal the names of their witnesses. Surprise evidence may produce fine drama, but it leads to poor justice. But I pretty much can gather that what they're doing with this is they're saying that this is a product of their work. What they're bringing her for in today leads to the evidence. Is that what we're trying to do? Or I don't get it,
Well, what I've heard on all the, fake news and the mainstream media, I heard that they were not going to give out the witnesses because Trump would harass them on social media. They're using that and what you're saying as well, I believe. But let us remind you who Stormy Daniels is. And she wrote a letter in 2018, and everyone is out there showing this letter that she wrote, stating that her affair with President Trump was false.
Yeah. This is why the whole case is a complete sham. On January 30th of 2018, this is the official statement of Stormy Daniels. She says, to whom it may concern, over the past few weeks, I have been asked countless times to comment on reports of an alleged sexual relationship I had with Donald Trump many, many, many years ago. The fact of the matter is that each party to this alleged affair denied its existence in 2006, 2011, 2016, 2017, and now again in 2018. This is important. She says, I'm not denying this affair because I was paid hush money, as has been reported in overseas owned tabloids. I am denying this affair because it never happened. I will have no further comment on this matter. Please feel free to check me out on Instagram at the Stormy Daniels.
And she signed it. Her name. Thank you, Stormy Daniels.
If the entire case rests on this witness right here, you have no case.
None at all. Not one at all. And President Trump, when he found out about this witness this morning, he was uptight. This is his statement. He says, I have just recently been told who the witness is today. This is unprecedented. No time for lawyers to prepare. No judge has ever run a trial in such a biased and partisan way. He is crooked and highly conflicted, even taking away my First Amendment rights. Now he's threatening me with jail, and they have no case. This according to virtually all legal scholars and experts. Why isn't the fake news media reporting his conflict? End of statement, President Trump.
And that was this morning. Here's what he had to say yesterday afternoon about the gag order.
Because this judge has given me a gag order and said you'll go to jail if you violate it. And frankly, you know what? Our Constitution is much more important than jail. It's not even close. I'll do that sacrifice any day. But what's happening here is a disgrace, and the appellate courts ought to get involved.
Do you think he is ready to go to jail?
Stand tall and stand proud. Call their bluff.
Gag order?
Yep, call their bluff.
I mean, that's what we said on title of our show yesterday. Call their bluff.
And he
because
did.
That's what he did. He came out with the same statement. He is crooked and highly conflicted that he always talks.
Yeah, and Judge Mershon and Judge Mershon's statement yesterday about, I don't want to have to throw you in jail, but I will. No, you won't. No, you won't, because like everybody understands, if you take a former president of the United States and you try to do this, it's going to be a logistics nightmare. You're going to have to empty that prison out. You're going to have him guards, CIA, Secret Service guards standing right there with him. They'll empty that entire place. It will be a nightmare. And
logistics nightmare.
And they don't want to get into that, and they know that. Plus, not only if they jail him, don't you think the streets in front of that jail are going to be full with protests?
Oh, you think it was bad before, like,
mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
you think the protests that are happening now
or that have happened would equal this?
Yeah. I mean, and not just that, it's just wrong.
Yeah.
It's purely wrong to put a former president in jail for a non-crime.
Exactly.
You know? I mean, that's like all of these cases that are against President Trump. You know, we have New York City, who has taken away his business. Now are there, and putting him in jail and ruin his reputation. And then down here in Florida, there's this New York City special prosecutor, Jack Smith, who came from D.C. We have special prosecutor Jack Smith regarding the document case in Florida. This one is out of control. Every single thing that's happening in this case, Jack Smith has been totally either illegal.
From what we've uncovered about the way they colluded and lead all the way up to the Mar-a-Lago raid, everything that has been done. And
yes, and we have Julie Kelly's article here that kind of gives us a little bit more of what's going on. Please check out Julie Kelly's Declassified with Julie Kelly on Substack. You can follow her on X also. This is your go-to for what's happening with President Trump's lawfare. And the title of this article is The DOJ's Doctored Crime Scene Photo of Mar-a-Lago Raid. Then she goes on.
Yeah, she said that new disclosures in special counsel Jack Smith's espionage case against Trump revealed that the FBI tampered with the evidence to create the infamous photo. We've all seen it, that the DOJ has lied about now for nearly 2 years. A few weeks after the armed FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago in August of 22, the Department of Justice released a stunning photograph depicting the alleged contraband seized from Trump's Palm Beach estate that day. The image showed the colored sheets representing scary classification levels attached to files purportedly discovered in his private office. What they done was taking a cover sheet, took it out there, spread all this out, and threw those cover sheets on top of it. The moment they did that is evidence tampering. Correct?
Yes. I mean, I can remember when we seen this photo way back, in 2020?
In 2022.
Way back in 2022. We all said the same thing, that was
that
total
was BS.
BS. Yeah, all of it,
Yep.
Was doctored. It looked doctored.
Yeah.
Thrown down there on the floor like President Trump did that.
Yep.
And everyone knows how President Trump has everything in just order. So. He's very particular about everything. And I can remember people going, no way would Trump do that. That is not Trump.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is out of control.
And so now that this has been revealed and we found this out and Jack Smith admitted to it.
And President Trump's attorneys fires off a letter to the senior assistant special counsels, Mr. Bratt, Miss Edelstein, and Mr. Harbuck. And he says, your failure to disclose the spoliation of this evidence until this month is an extraordinary breach of your constitutional and ethical obligations. Since the beginning of this case, our strategy, preparations, and arguments have been based on the basic premise that, biased as Jack Smith is in his futile efforts to help President Biden make up lost ground in the polls, the lying prosecutors and agents would employ the minimal levels of professionalism and competence necessary to preserve evidence relating to the documents at the center of the charges. And he goes on to say, in addition to all of the legal flaws that we have identified in your efforts through pending pretrial motions, it is now clear that even the most fundamental premise of the criminal justice process does not apply in this case. Furthermore, your misrepresentation to Judge Cannon regarding this important issue are part of a pattern of inaccurate claims regarding the status and substance of discovery that have plagued this case from the start, as you have repeatedly and unjustly urged the court to impose unworkable deadlines in connection with your election interference mission. And that's exactly what it says. Breaking news right before we came on, regarding this case, new Trump classified documents trial delayed indefinitely. Cannon extends document deadline. So this is so important. This has been delayed indefinitely now because Jack Smith did what?
Admitted to evidence tampering, which this is something that we do not need to let die at all, because Jack Smith understands, Judge Cannon understands, that what he's done, evidence tampering, is a crime that's going to throw his ass in jail. Because under U.S. Code 18, Section 1519, federal evidence tampering can be charged as a felony and is punishable by up to 20 years in federal prison and a fine of up to $250,000.
Well, let me ask you this.
Jack Smith, they delayed this trial, and Jack Smith's working now on covering his own ass.
Yes, he is
he's
right
probably
now.
Fixing to get thrown in. Man, if I'm Judge Cannon, I'm pushing somebody to call for them to arrest him.
I totally agree with you 100%. Someone needs to arrest him, but who will do it? It seems like everybody in our government, everybody in the United States for some reason, government-wise, is against President Trump, even when
we know
he's
this.
on the right.
Exactly, because the government's weaponized.
And it's totally crazy because, not just President Trump, but you heard what happened to Peter Navarro.
Yeah, this is more weaponization.
This is more weaponization. He got put in prison for, what was that?
Contempt.
Contempt of court.
Yep.
Because he would not testify in front of Congress. And how many other people have done this and never had anything happen?
Well, there's Eric Holder, there's Jim Clapper, there's Lois Lerner. And every one of them got up and perjured themselves in court, too. Never nothing happened with that. So Matt Gaetz requested that he could go and interview Peter Navarro and was turned down. So here's what we're talking about. In a surprising turn of events, the Federal Bureau of Prisons has denied Representative Matt Gaetz' request to interview Peter Navarro, citing Navarro's notoriety as the reasons. This decision has sparked a heated debate among social media users, with some labeling Navarro as a political prisoner and others questioning the Bureau of Prisons' decisions. Matt Gaetz requests an interview with him through the Bureau of Prisons, and he's turned down based on Navarro's notoriety. So Gaetz got up yesterday on the House floor, and this is a statement that he had.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to alert this House of the actions of the Federal Bureau of Prisons, which seem to be vindicating the claim made by Peter Navarro that he is being held as a political prisoner. I've been trying for 5 weeks to be able to interview Mr. Navarro. And there are provisions that ought to allow this, and I was informed directly by Director Peters, who runs the Bureau, that that request would be denied. And the reason it's being denied is because Peter Navarro is too notorious to be interviewed by a member of Congress. John Gotti was interviewed when he was in prison. The QAnon shaman was interviewed in prison. Director Peters herself brought NBC News through prisons to showcase the work of corrections that's being done. So I think there is something else afoot here. Mr. Navarro, I'm being told, is not being allowed to access his attorney, and it is because it is shameful what has been done to Peter Navarro based on a sham January 6th committee and a sham indictment and a sham conviction that we ought to work to remediate immediately upon President Trump's rightful and righteous return to office. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield back.
Wow. It's amazing what our government is doing.
Yeah.
They're just they're destroying America. They're destroying people's lives, and they don't care. They don't care at all what's going on with Peter Navarro. You know, he's not a young man anymore. You know, and he worked really hard in the Trump administration. He made jobs. He did what President Trump asked him to do.
And Matt Gaetz is right. He's being held as a political prisoner, and he's being treated as such. He's not being treated with his due process. He's not being treated with his rights to his attorney. You know, any of this. It's just more weaponization of the government. That's all that it is, over and over and over again. You want to talk about more weaponization of the government?
Look at what the Biden administration is doing to Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
Looky here. Greg Abbott comes out yesterday with a statement. He goes, President Biden and his administration are making a power grab for the National Guard. They want to give the secretaries unilateral authority to dismantle National Guard units on a whim. Governors must not be sidelined as commander-in-chief of our National Guard, he said. Read my letter. And in the letter, Governor Abbott, he says, Dear President Trump. No, I'm sorry. He says, Dear President Biden. I'm sorry, that's funny. I'm sorry. Dear President Biden, the Texas National Guard plays a critical role in protecting over 30 million Texans. Look what that says, Texans. In recent years, members of the Texas National Guard have heroically responded to hurricanes, wildfires, and a variety of other disasters, including the one at the Texas-Mexico border. Most recently, the Texas National Guard responded to the largest wildfire in Texas history, with aircraft to dump water and with an MQ-9 Reaper to access the situation on the ground. During COVID-19, the Texas National Guard deployed over 4,000 troops to support 17 state agencies in all 254 counties in Texas and responded to 530 formal state of Texas assistance requests. As a governor and commander-in-chief, I am proud to have one of the largest National Guards in the country.
Yeah, he goes on to say legislative proposal 480 put forth by the U.S. Department of the Air Force poses an intolerable threat to the Texas National Guard.
Texas.
Yeah, again, that proposal would give the Secretary of the Air Force unilateral authority to transfer Air National Guard units to the Space Force without first obtaining gubernatorial consent. Although the Texas Air National Guard does not have these types of missions, I strongly oppose any attempt to sideline governors when it comes to their respective National Guards. And here's, again, where we talk about weaponization of the government. Congress has long required the consent of a governor before units can be transferred out of the National Guard he commands. If you see 32 U.S. Code, Section 104, 10 U.S. Code, 18238 by departing from this sensible arrangement and allowing the secretaries to dismantle National Guard units on a whim. Legislative Proposal 480 would set a dangerous precedent. Members of the National Guard must always stand ready to respond to natural disasters, civil disturbances, and cartel activities that threaten our way of life. The U.S. Department of Air Force should retract Legislative Proposal 480. Instead of attempting such a power grab in Congress, the U.S. Department of the Air Force should work with the affected governors to build up the Space Force in a way that is consistent with federal law.
Exactly. There you go. Sincerely, Governor Abbott.
Texas.
Is this thing working?
Rise up. Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.